Hello, friends. How are you all? It's a great pleasure once again to be here on the channel. We are reading today Talk in terms of your listeners' interests. Yes, you heard me right. Talk in terms of your listeners' interests. We are reading the various ways how we can talk in terms of your listeners' interest. Here is an excellent example of talking in terms of audience interest. Eric Johnston used instances of calculated risk right out of his listeners' backyards. He made them feel that his talk was no mimeographed copy. It was freshly created for them. No audience can withhold attention from a speaker who talks in its interest. Okay, so an important point to note that no audience can withhold attention from a speaker who talks in its interest. Ask yourself how knowledge of your subjects will help the members of your audiences solve their problems and achieve their goals. Then proceed to show them that you will have their complete attention. If you are accountant and you start your talk by saying something like this, I'm going to show you how to save from 50 to $100 on your tax return. Or you are a lawyer and you tell your listeners how to go about making a will, you will be certain to have an interested audience. Surely there is some topic in your special fund of knowledge that can be of real help to members of your audience. When asked what interests people, Lord Northcliffe, the William Randolph Hearst of British journalism, he replied, themselves. He built a newspaper empire on that single truth. In mind in the making, James Harvey Robinson describes reverie as a spontaneous and favorite kind of thinking. He goes on to say that in reverie we allow our ideas to take their own course, and this course is determined by our hopes and fears, our spontaneous desires, their fulfillment or frustration, by our likes and dislikes, our loves, hates, and resentments. There is nothing so interesting to ourselves as ourselves. Harold Dwight, Harold Dwight of Philadelphia, made an extraordinary successful talk at a banquet which marked the final session of our course. He talked about each person in turn around the entire table, how he had spoken in turn around the entire table, how he had spoken when the course started, how he had improved. He recalled the talks various members had made, the subjects they had discussed. He mimicked some of them, exaggerated their peculiarities, had everyone laughing, had everyone pleased. With such material, he could not possibly have failed. It was absolutely ideal. No other topic under the blue dome of heaven would have so interested that group. Mr. Dwellite knew how to handle human nature. Some years ago, I wrote a series of articles for the American magazine, and I had the opportunity of talking with John Siddle, who was then in charge of the interesting people department. People are selfish, he said. They are interested chiefly in themselves. They are not very much concerned about whether the government should own the railroads, but they do want to know how to get ahead, to how to draw more salary, how to keep healthy. If I were editor of this magazine, he went on, I would tell them how to take care of their teeth, how to baths, how to keep cool in summer, how to take bath and how to keep cool in summer, how to get a position, how to handle employees, how to buy homes, how to remember, how to avoid grammatical error, and so on. People are always interested in human interest stories. So I would have some rich man tell how he made a million in real estate. I would get promised prominent bankers and presidents of various corporations to tell the stories of how they battle their ways up from the ranks to power and wealth. Shortly after that, Siddle was made editor. The magazine then had a small circulation, and Siddle did just what he said he would do. The response? It was overwhelming. The circulation figures climbed up to 200,000, 3, 4, half a million. Here was something the public wanted. Soon a million people a month were buying it. Then a million and half, finally 2 million. It did not stop there, but continued to grow for many years. Siddle appealed to the self interest of his readers. The next time you face an audience, visualize them as eager to hear what you have to say, as long as it applies to them. Speakers who fail to take their essential egocentricity of their listeners into account are apt to find themselves facing a restless audience, one squirming in boredom, glancing at wrist watches, and looking hopefully toward the exit doors. Okay, so we were reading about sharing the talk with the audience. It's great to be there. Take care. Love you all. See you again. Till then, bye bye.